right, guys, welcome back. This lesson's a little different. We're going to talk about Jostens Yearbook Plus. And we're not, there's no J class that goes with this one, or on Yearbook Avenue, none of that. And we're actually not going to do a student activity later a little bit in this lesson, but I want you to take notes, and I want you to think about this pretty amazing new digital feature, which is a Jostens exclusive to you. All right, I refer to Yearbook Plus as your yearbook's digital companion because we're in the 21st century now. And so it's time, maybe in a sense, to kind of drag your yearbook into the 21st century, make it more interesting, digital, active, interactive. Yearbook Plus checks all of those boxes, and it's free for you to use, and it's easy to do. So let's take some notes here, all right? If somehow you're not familiar with this, and no matter when you're watching this, all right, if it's early school year, middle of the school year, late in the school year, it's probably not too late to start using Yearbook Plus, and we'll touch on that here in just a little bit. And so the idea is, how do we make the yearbook more interactive? Now, that's kind of an educational buzzword these days. All right, we want to make our classes more interactive and more fun and interesting, that people like them. Well, what about our yearbook? How can we make our yearbook more interactive, more than just kind of staring at pages in a book? Okay, I'm done, and then they toss it away. Unfortunately, that's what some people do. They get the yearbook, okay, nice, and after 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, off it goes. How can we change that? How can we make your book something where people grab whatever mobile device they have in their hands and it's like, oh, I want to check out all this extra stuff. Yes, the opportunity to share out extra stuff. Now, maybe your group does something sort of on the lines already. They make videos, okay? Or maybe they do something with pictures or some other type of items. But of course, then you've got to save that somewhere. You could save it on a school server. That's what some people do. Fortunately, that's not the best way to go, because school servers, who knows how long they're going to go until, boom, they crash. Or worse yet, in recent years, this has become more frequent. They get hacked. The school server gets hacked by bad guys, and then your yearbook stuff, poof, probably disappears, goes away, never to come back again. Not good. Yes, you could put stuff like videos and whatever up on YouTube. YouTube's been around for a while. YouTube, though, is this sort of public entity, and if you've been on YouTube, and I'm sure you have, you may notice all this extra stuff that comes popping up on your screen, stuff that you probably have no interest in, but there it is. So maybe YouTube isn't necessarily the best way to go with some of this stuff. And again, how long is YouTube going to be around? It's been around for about 20 years, 20, 25 years, something like that, I guess. Is it going to continue well into the future? Well, frankly, we don't know. Now, Jostens, we were formed in 1897. All right, do the math for this year. How old is the company? Long time. Jostens isn't going anywhere. And we do some pretty cool stuff, and one of those is our Yearbook Plus feature. Now, when we originally set up Plus a couple of years ago, we had focus groups, we had parents, we had teachers, we had students. And we asked students, okay, what do you think should be in this thing? And what they told us was absolutely images. Yep, we want to see pictures. No videos, no likes, no comments, no drama. And we immediately said, that makes perfect sense. No drama. So, Yearbook Plus is primarily about images, but what could we do with that? We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Now, if you're not familiar with Plus, two main parts. One involves you guys, the yearbook staff. We call this the school life feature. Think about this. You have all the different topics of your book right now, and hopefully you have way more images than you need for each one of those topics. Football, homecoming, volleyball, winter dance, some school activity, chemistry class, social studies, whatever the topics are that you're covering in your book. Hopefully you've got way more images than you need. The problem, of course, is you make your pages. Hopefully they're very nice. And when you're done, you have all these extra images like, what do we do with these? We have no room for them. Well, with Yearbook Plus, now you do have room for them. We're going to digitally link them to pages of your book. And there's no limit, at least not right now, so you can put up as many as you wish, 5, 10, 100, 250, all right? A lot of different stuff that you can do as a yearbook staff to share out all that extra stuff that you simply did not have room for in the book. A chance to tell more stories about more people. That's one half. The other half we call My Life. Every person pictured in your book with a headshot. All right, students, and yeah, frankly, teachers too. All right, every person pictured in your book has an opportunity to tell their own story with up to 10 of their own pictures digitally linked to their headshot in the book. And all somebody has to do at some point when the book eventually shows up, they pull out the gadget, they scan, they get started, they shoot a picture of that headshot of that person, and if that person took the time to upload something, it pops up on the screen. A person has a chance to tell their own story. For a lot of years, Jostens does surveys every year. We survey parents and teachers and students. One question we always ask, did you buy a yearbook last year? And if the answer is no, the follow-up is, well, why not? Now, it's interesting, between parents and students, the answer is different, but it's pretty much the same every year. For parents, it's simply, I didn't know it was for sale. I didn't know how to get one. In other words, the yearbook staff never communicated to me somehow that the book was for sale and I just missed it. That's the number one reason for parents. Students, the number one reason is almost always, I'm not in it. I don't want one. I'm not in it. Interesting, price is never number one. Not even close. It's not about the money. It's about, hey, they didn't take the time to cover me. Well, what if we could? What if the person connected to the yearbook actually had the opportunity to tell their own story? Me playing sports, me in a hobby, me with my family, me with my dog, me on my summer vacation, me doing things that I like to do. All right, all that sort of stuff. It's possible to do. And for you, the yearbook staff, pretty much all you have to do is promote it. They do the work. You just have to let them know, hey, this is really cool. You should try this. Here's how. And then hopefully a lot of people follow up and they do it. And it's digitally connected to your book. Nobody sees anything until your new book comes out. Pretty cool stuff, right? Hopefully you do both of those halves. At the very least, do one of those two halves. Maybe at least do the school life portion where you guys have a chance to share out stuff you have that you just didn't have room for in the book. Now, advisors watching, you get a special website for this, exclusive for you. You have full control over everything. You see everything. If for some reason you want to delete an image, there's a delete button. Out it goes. You have full control at all times. Jostens does have what we call a moderation service. So if people that are uploading their own photos, telling their own story, every single image gets checked out for what I call stupid stuff. I think you can take a wild guess what that is. The stupid stuff, right? But you are sort of the second moderation service, and you can see everything before everybody eventually gets a chance to see everything. And so advisors, this is incredible, all right? And it is a future item. So in other words, when the book eventually comes out, yes, people are going to grab their device, scan a code that we give you. They're going to start what I call the magic. And then 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, your stuff isn't going anywhere. Yearbook Plus is web-based. It is not app-based. You don't have to load anything on your device. Whatever device you have, whatever these things are going to look like in 20 years, we have no idea. But whatever it is, 20 years from now, whatever that device is, you'll still be able to use it with this year's book and see all that really cool Yearbook Plus material. Now, let's challenge here a little bit. Some original ideas for Yearbook Plus. Take some notes, please. Most folks, what they do is they just link their leftover images and there's no description. It's just a list of images, like a big giant slideshow. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Imagine if we did a little bit more. Now, if you follow our lessons, let's share one here. I've called this the caption image, which is a picture and a caption saved as an image. And so it's an image, like any other image, but it has words with it, descriptive words that help tell more of the story about whatever's going on in this photo. Easy to do using Layout Pro on Yearbook Avenue. Takes seconds, literally seconds to do this, and is really pretty cool. How about this? You could use Yearbook Plus to tell more stories about things that aren't directly in the yearbook. So in other words, all right, I like football. Let's say you have a football spread and you have a few images of a particular player who has an interesting story to tell, something football related or about him in connection with football, and you really didn't have room for it in the book, but you could use Yearbook Plus to kind of attach his images to the pages of the yearbook, and tell his story that you're only going to be able to see right here. All right? And you could do that for any host of people, like a mini slideshow about a person or a group or a particular maybe small activity or something. Maybe you didn't have room for it in the book, but you can connect it to your book digitally. That would be a neat extra storytelling angle. And then finally, making Yearbook Plus in your book. The easiest way to do this is what I call Yearbook Plus spread. We'll put an example up on the screen. You take either 2 or 4 pages of your book that are kind of empty, turn those into your Yearbook Plus spreads. The idea is all the images on these spreads are what we call trigger images, where people, again, are going to grab their phone, go to that spread, scan the code to get started, and then scan individual pictures on those 2 or 4 pages to get all the extra material that comes popping up on the screen. Instead of necessarily making them search for it all over the book, we kind of put it all in one place. There's yet another original idea on how you can effectively use Yearbook Plus. All right, so let's do a quick wrap up. Hopefully I've enticed you to say, hey, this is worth checking out. Or, hey, how about some of those new ideas? We could do something with those to open up our storytelling, make our yearbook more fun, more interactive. People are going to be diving through the book for an hour or two, finding all the extra stuff that you connected to it. Wouldn't that be cool? And then again, 10, 20, whatever years from now, they'll be able to do it again with whatever device they have at that time, wherever they are. This is some really cool stuff. Let's make yearbooking more of an adventure for our reader. And maybe you have other cool ideas connected with images that you can come up with that I haven't even thought of yet. It's out there. So put your thinking cap on here, if you will, a little bit. Everybody out there in school wants their story told. You have the opportunity to do just that, everybody, using Yearbook Plus. If you need more information, contact your Jostens representative. We'll get you started, and off we go. Thanks for watching.